All right, well, after we put out our list of some of the scariest horror films that had not necessarily our top picks, but just like some of the biggest scares in cinema, we definitely have listened to you.
Yeah.
Some of the ones you recommended, Forget Me Not, Friday the 13th, obviously, Candyman, It.
How many Candy? Because there's been 11. There've been 14 of them, I think.
Well, yeah, this was just one, so it's hard to choose.
Yep.
Alien, of course.
Of course, Alien.
It, Rabid.
Right.
Some of these.
Rabid, Cronenberg's, Rabid's definitely got some. And Alien, I was terrified to go see Alien when it came out. I mean, I thought it was like a rite of passage to see Alien.
Yeah. Pinhead.
Yeah.
The Orphanage.
Yeah, sure.
Don't Look Now.
Yep.
I mean, we've got some classics here. You
Absolutely.
Know,
I mean, there's almost too many. I mean,
great scares.
Jaws.
The Grudge,
right.
Jaws.
Serpent in the Rainbow. Poltergeist.
The Strangers. That's a creepy movie.
Yeah. Rosemary's Baby, of course.
Children of the Corn.
All great stuff.
Just when I say Malachi, that's just a scary name.
Yeah. No, I don't want to know anybody named Malachi personally.
So thanks for all of your recommendations, and based on that, we've kind of judged how many people voted for certain ones, and so we've whittled it down to like a top 3.
Right.
But it's really, I mean, there's all of these have great scares in them. So
for sure.
Now we're going to watch our top 3, starting with Paranormal Activity.
And some would say that this continues the trend of established, not really established, but certainly made successful by the Blair Witch Project.
Absolutely, yeah. Which had a bunch of scares. That was on the list too, is Blair Witch.
Yeah, of course.
That ending of Blair Witch is really creepy.
Yeah.
It's super creepy.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's what you don't see.
That's
or
right.
what you think you see.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Just the whole concept of being lost in the woods.
Totally.
Is scary.
Right. I mean, we were talking last time about Texas Chainsaw having a documentary type feel, and there's something about when you access that corner of your mind where you perceive it as a real thing.
Yep.
That obviously the terror stakes rise.
It's true. It's true. And this is a unique trailer because they show you audience reactions.
That's
to
right,
to like an audience preview.
Very smart marketing. I remember when Scanners, Cronenberg, speaking of Rabid, Cronenberg Scanners came out. That's what they did. They couldn't show the exploding head on television, too gory, but they showed people, reacting to the head exploding.
Right.
And that just made me want to run to see that thing.
Yeah, and this has the same effect. I'm sure the filmmakers certainly followed that advice. I mean, this definitely has some great scares in it, and I'm a fan of the original much more than of course they kept making them and they're still making them.
Right.
But there's nothing better than the original with so many films.
Yeah, totally. Again, it's the roughness, and we were talking about Blair Witch and that ending, which plays all in this woman's face, on her face. Reminds me of Texas Chainsaw too. That moment where she is just, at the table. That just doesn't go away, and she's screaming her head off because they're all just like, "We're gonna get to you. We're gonna get," and they're just having dinner, and she's just losing her mind. That's as important as the scare itself, the reaction.
No doubt. So Paranormal Activity. I mean, apparently, he made it for just like $15,000 or something, and I guess Spielberg stepped in at the end when they were about to do distribution and said, let's add this to the ending, so it has this more of a bigger button at the end. But definitely some major scares in that movie. Good choice. All right, let's see. Working our way up the list. This is number 2. And, of course, we were going to talk about this one before, but certainly it's worth talking about the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Sure.
Or A Nightmare on Elm Street.
A Nightmare, right.
Johnny Depp, right?
Right. And how many nightmares have there been?
Good question. Do you know the answer to that?
I don't know. For whatever reason...
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. For whatever reason, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, sticks in my mind as one of the titles. But after 4, I start to lose track of the subtitle.
I was in a band and we made a song. We had a song called "Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4."
Oh yeah,
that was just making fun of that they were never going to stop making them. But of course,
exactly. Right.
This is a creepy movie,
and it's got John Saxon in it from Enter the Dragon and any number of B movies. And anytime you get John Saxon in there, that's a good thing.
And anytime someone's crawling on the ceiling, it's just
crawling on the ceiling is always scary. John Saxon is always scary.
Those eyebrows.
And again, this is one of those characters that has made its way into the sort of the lexicon. It's like this iconic.
Yeah, Freddy.
You know, Freddy. If you ask anybody to describe Freddy, you know, the hat, the sweater, obviously the scarred face, the hand is everything. And it's funny because at the time when it comes out, you know, just like when Frankenstein comes out, nobody had seen this particular incarnation of evil before, and that scraping, you know, the ability to scrape metal on metal, that arm thing was pretty cool.
The arm thing is
the
crazy.
tongue thing. I forgot all about the tongue coming out of the phone. Now, the sweater itself is not that scary. The striped red, alternating red stripe, I don't think that's particularly... That could be just sort of comical.
It could be like, Where's Waldo?
Right. Could be child-friendly, the sweater. Right. But you had the hand and the...
the potential for death in your sleep.
That's right. That's not really child-friendly.
I mean, I think that's such a smart and genius concept. Just like, don't go to sleep.
Right.
It's just
right.
Oh my God.
Well, Craven kept doing. He did another one called Shocker, which people haven't seen. We go. Somebody. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
But definitely good choice again.
Very good
on Elm
choice.
Street.
Right. No one said last. Speaking of Craven, no one said Last House on the Left, the original Last House on the Left. With again, like Texas Chainsaw, is like too real for its own good. You know.
When did that come out?
That's early '70s, and that I remember the title for that. The poster was like, just keep repeating to yourself, it's only a movie.
Oh my god!
Because it just wasn't movie-like. It was just messed up.
That is so creepy.
All right, so what's the top of our list
here? All right, top of the pops. We're going to watch two things from this since it's number one. This got multiple recommendations and backing for the Scariest movie.
Now, now I have to say, I remember when I went to see, tease it for a second, I went to see Friday the 13th, the original Friday the 13th.
Yep.
The Sean Cunningham original.
Yep.
And I brought my little sister with me, and this trailer came on.
Oh my god!
And she was convinced that I had taken her to this movie instead.
Really?
She had no problem going to see Friday the 13th, but when the trailer for what we're about to show you came on, she lost her mind. And I had to tell her, no, it's just the trailer. We're not going to see that because there had been so much hype about this being potentially the most scary, unnerving movie, that the idea of seeing teenagers cut to ribbons, you know, eyeballs coming out, that didn't matter.
No problem.
This was too much.
Right.
All right. So this is what my little sister lost her mind over when this image came on.
And it is creepy.
Just the title. She was like, no. She's like climbing out of the chair. Because the idea of Stanley Kubrick making a full-blown horror film with someone like Nicholson just meant that you were going to get rolled over. I mean, it just felt like, without knowing anything, that you were going to lose your mind.
Right.
Now, arguably, people have said, and even Stephen King has said, you know, this is not my book. This is not that scary. I mean, King is the one who said, this isn't scary. It's more of an interesting, it's more of an atmosphere than it is truly terrifying. I mean, what are the moments that scare you?
Well, it's true. It is more like a mood piece. It's just the mood of being in this hotel and is it haunted? And of course, the trailer. I mean, you don't see what happens in the movie, but this trailer,
you know, the
blood coming out of the elevator. Are you kidding me?
Right. And the idea that, of course, there are things that are shocking. The images of the dead Grady's hatcheted children.
Yeah.
You know, the naked woman that becomes the naked Haggerty old woman coming at you is
it's super creepy.
Is creepy. And again, children in jeopardy, dead children, that's always creepy. But in terms of pure shock, I mean, what do you remember being shocked or like, like what do you know, they show Paranormal Activity, everybody's like flying out of the seat.
True.
What did you fly? Do you remember flying out of your seat for The Shining?
Really just his face at times. It's just him coming through the door it's super scary.
True. I mean, the second Nicholson gets the axe out and decides to go after the family. It's but part of it is Nicholson at this point. Nicholson has moved into playing Nicholson. And so I'm not that scared of Nicholson. I'm scared of an axe.
Yeah.
Being wielded at my head. I mean, the thing that's so great about The Shining also is and I think part of it that takes away possibly from the pure fright is just that you marvel at Kubrick's filmmaking. I mean, whenever Kubrick makes a movie, it's just there's something to observe from
Right.
a filmmaking perspective that's just beautiful. You know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like look at that. I mean, there's just and that's a set. You know,
Right.
that's actually a set on the back lot. That's just a facade. But you just marvel at the imagery, which I think sometimes works against the scare.
Right.
Although then again, I've seen this so many times, maybe I've forgotten whether I was genuinely afraid.
Well, I think there's just something, like with a lot of films that are on the list, and certainly like with The Omen, that's just like this kid being possessed by
Right.
something and going against his family.
Right.
This one, just this father going against his
Right.
family.
Again,
it's like,
yeah.
oh
You're
no,
right. You're right.
It's like the
Right.
person.
And Shelley Duvall this is similar to Texas Chainsaw, where her reaction is just
That's
so
right.
pure,
Right.
and she is so scared, and she's letting it rip there that makes this moment work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like who it is. This isn't like someone in a mask that you're not sure who
no,
it
it's
is.
it's your husband.
It's like your husband, the father, has lost his mind.
Right.
And it's just
Yeah, and of course the classic line.
Here's Johnny.
But that's a laugh. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
it's
I mean,
true.
People,
True, yeah.
people always say that part of the fun of horror movies is that you laugh.
That's right.
You
That's
scream
right.
and then you laugh, or there's black humor in it. Obviously, Here's Johnny is. I mean, you have fun with Nicholson saying that line. It's not
Right.
like I'm not crawling under my seat when he says that.
yeah. That's
know?
true. That's true. No, it's a good point. And I think even with the films like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, you're so scared that you start laughing.
Right.
It's this weird tipping point.
Right, and you want that
know.
release.
It's kind of like with great comedies, you laugh so hard you start crying.
Right.
It's
Right.
this weird combination of the opposite feeling.
right. Yeah, exactly.
That's so weird. I've never even really thought about
yeah,
that,
that's true.
actually.
That's true.
But there is this kind of thing that something's so scary that you laugh. I guess you're just trying to
Right.
internally...
Except for the original Texas Chainsaw, in which I actually cried. I was so scared that I was crying.
Oh my God. Well, this is definitely a great list, and those are three, certainly very different films.
Yeah, yeah, and-
Paranormal Activity, Nightmare on Elm Street, and The Shining. Very different films, all very scary in their own way.
Absolutely.
And I think very telling of like how some of the best horror films have progressed, with The Shining, where you have this master filmmaker with
Right.
A-list actors putting together this just in an incredible, story, putting together this incredible piece. And then A Nightmare on Elm Street is just kind of classic 80s horror.
Right. Well, it just shows you that the genre can be anything. It can be the most low budget, no stars, and sometimes even more effective.
That's right,
You know,
yeah.
Case in point, Paranormal, Texas Chainsaw again, and Last
Yeah.
House on the Left, so forth. And then you get things like The Shining or Poltergeist,
Yeah.
which, I mean, we didn't even talk about Poltergeist. Poltergeist
Yeah.
has tons of scares.
Absolutely,
and that's a big,
yeah.
Spielberg produced, epic for
Yeah.
that matter. So it's a very, it's a genre that can be approached from any kind of angle and work in so many different ways.
Yeah, my hope is that, more and more people kind of go at it like Paranormal, like Nightmare on Elm Street or The Shining, versus, I just don't consider Saw to be a horror film, like a scary film.
I think
it's
we're
just
gonna.
gross.
I think you're right. I think
And-
that torture porn, it definitely has its place, but that to me is more of an endurance test.
Right.
That is the kind of thing where can you last? Can you keep your eyes on it? And that's different from mood. Or
Right.
terror or shock.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between watching somebody slowly cut their own limbs off versus Janet Leigh getting attacked by Norman Bates in the shower. There's a different quality to that, and I understand that. I mean, the endurance test is part of it. Like again, about Alien. Again, Alien may seem tame by comparison by today's standards, but before it came out, just like The Shining, Ridley Scott's going to do. This was supposed to be something really big, and nobody knew what the chest burster was, but they said if you can manage to hang on and get through that, you will have passed this test. It's almost like people were going to have t-shirts like I survived Alien.
Right,
So,
yeah.
So there's something about torture porn I think that people watch either because they, there's some sick fascination or they love it or whatever it is, but
or they just want to say that I
got through it.
Right.
I
true,
watched
true.
it.
Yeah.
I watched Human Centipede
That's
too.
interesting,
I
right.
got through it I get my little I got through it badge. All right. Which is something,
And I guess same with, some of the better, that are more the mood piece kind of horror films, like to get through that.
Yeah.
Because they are disturbing. They do stay with you, and they just prey on these very normal fears, like I'm afraid of the dark, or I'm afraid to be out in the woods by myself, just these things that happen.
Totally. I mean, Jaws, The Exorcist, those play mostly on feelings of dread, because even though they're punctuated by these extreme, violent, obviously iconic scenes, whether it's, eating Quint or bile flying, there's still, once that is established, then the feeling is, oh my God, when is this going to happen next? And that's what sustains that. That's what really drives an audience into that sort of place, because it's going to come. Even the original Halloween is like that. There are actually only a handful of actual murders, but once it's been set up, you know that it could happen at any moment, and so you dread that moment. And that is actually sometimes more powerful than the impact,
So as a filmmaker, where are you hoping that horror goes next? I mean, is there, because we've definitely seen an evolution to approach. I mean, what do you think's next on the horizon?
I don't know. I wonder if it's, film is very cyclical. I wonder if there'll be a move away from hardcore graphic violence into something that is more atmospheric. I mean, we've seen some of that, and that, like I said, that can be as terrifying or more terrifying.
Sure, yeah.
And I think because it's like CGI, when you've seen it all, you've got to go somewhere else. Almost like when everything is right in your face, you've seen it, you become desensitized to that. So then you have to start asking yourself, what is the thing that really makes you afraid?
Right.
And maybe it is the unknown. Maybe it is the thing that you don't see. Maybe it is like in Blair Witch. It's that thing. What is he doing in the corner? What's happening?
Yeah.
It's the deep thing that you can't possibly fathom. And if you can illustrate that in a film, I think that will start to scare people again, because I don't think people are easily scared anymore.
Right,
know? The only thing you can do is like what Sam Raimi did, a long time ago, and I hear he's going to do Army of Darkness too.
I can't wait.
Which is the blend of horror and comedy.
Right,
and Evil Dead 2 is obviously the best, and some people have pointed that out too, and that should be on the list.
Yeah, absolutely.
That it's this incredible blend of, crazy, almost goofball Three Stooges humor with the hardest core violence, and somehow when you put those things together, it makes a new thing. It's like a cocktail. It makes something new. It's not, if you put torture porn with kind of crazy ass comedy, that's going to be something else.
Interesting.
So maybe it's the combination of elements that that's all. Maybe that's all you can do is like rearrange these elements into something new.
A musical
hardcore torture porn. As they're sawing, they break off, and I miss this limb of mine.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for commenting and letting us know what some of your favorite horror films are. And thanks for joining us again. Subscribe to Cinefix for more film talk and commentary. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Ladies, children, cheer. Some people call me a terrorist. I consider myself a teacher. Lesson number 1. Heroes. There is no such thing.
Nora, did you hear about Breaking Bad?
Yeah, it's over. I'm bummed.
Yeah, no, apparently Katzenberg is at MIPCOM in France right now talking to the creators of Breaking Bad about offering them $75 million to create 3 additional episodes.
That's insane.
Hold on to your broomsticks, boys and girls, because while practicing my wizardry, I mean code breaking, I uncovered a terrifying conspiracy that involves Hollywood, J.K. Rowling, and the ancient religion of Wicca. Right here on Conspiracy Cinema.
Do you like movies, but don't have time to see them in theaters? And then forget to watch them when they come out on Netflix? You think actors are cool, but you can't remember all those names? Well then welcome to Kate's Movie Review.
Hey,
You like movies?
No, it's movies with.
Welcome to Movies with Kate.
Run around a forest with a stone-faced expression while killing more animals and making more money than basically anyone your age ever. Then get all moody and depressing, throw a couple of cuss words around, and learn to dance. Now listen up, because this is an important step. Win the Oscar. And if you've done all of that already, well, you're well on your way to becoming Jennifer Lawrence.